Hi students, today I am going to explain you the concept of object oriented programming using Java. As you know, Java is object oriented programming. But what is the meaning of the object? How can we create software objects in Java with the help of class? One thing you remember, class name is a user defined data type. User defined data type means class name is a data type. If you remove the word user defined, we can say class name is a data type. Like other data types like int, float, char, boolean, there are 8 primitive data types. But we can also create new data types with the help of class name. So when we declare a class having some data members and functions, afterwards we can create the objects. Same thing I am going to explain you with the help of program. How can we create software objects in Java with the help of class? See here, one class is there, alpha. Here I am declaring two variables. We can declare any number of variables in the body of the class, not in the body of the function. In the body of the class directly we can declare. These variables are called data members. Or we can also say instance variable. So the variable which we declare in the body of the class are called data members or instance variables. Now we will make some functions which will access these two variables. First function I am going to make is void data function, in which I am initializing a and b variables with values 5 and 6. One more function, void display, in which system.out.println printing the value of a with some gap and b. So data function is here to initialize the values to the variables a and b. A will be 5 and b will be 6, and display function is there to print the value of a and b. Now how can we access these function one by one? So we have to create one function, public static void main. Public static void main function, string arguments you can also write. In the static function, which is main is a static function, we cannot call these function directly. Like if I write display, so display cannot be called. These functions are non-static. There is no static keyword before this function. So non-static functions belongs to the object, but static functions belongs to the class. If these functions are static, we can easily call within the class from the static functions also, but if it is non-static, they belongs to the object. So first of all we have to create the object here. Now try to understand how can we create the object here with the help of class name. As I told you, class name is a user defined data type. Suppose class name is alpha and alpha is a data type. So if it is a data type alpha, then you can declare variable like x, y, z. If in place of alpha I write int x comma y comma z, we can declare any number of variables of integer type. Same way, if class alpha is a data type, then we can also declare variable like this. These variables are called objects or of alpha type. These variables which is declared with the help of class name are called object, but here is only object declaration. I am writing here, it is only object declaration. With the help of this object, we can call this function, but before it, we have to allocate the memory to the object. First of all, x object is here. We are going to allocate the memory x equal to new alpha. So here now x object is completely created in the memory. As I told you, if you declare with the help of int x, y, z, int is a primitive data type. You know very well. Size of int data type is 4 bytes. It means one variable will take 4 bytes if it is of integer type. But if it is of alpha type, how much variable it will, how much memory it will occupy. See, suppose this is the memory block. Here, normally one integer variables take 4 bytes. Here, the size of x object depends on the data members. How many data members we have in the body of the class? Right now, we have only 2 data members A and B. One A is of 4 bytes, another B is also 4 bytes, so total 8 bytes. So x object will be of 8 bytes, the total size of the object. So here, if x object is created like this in the memory, this is x object. Here A and B each is of 4 bytes. It is of 4 bytes size. So total is of 8 bytes. By default, their values are 0. So that's why we are saying that class name is a user defined data type. User defined means because we have defined. So size will be decided by us for each and every object. Size will be decided by the data members declared in the body of the class. If you declare one more variable, suppose double C, one double variable is of 8 bytes. So 4 plus 8 total it will become 16 bytes. So one object will be of 16 bytes. Same way, when we allocate memory to y object, it will also occupy. Suppose I am allocating the memory to y object. So y object will be created in the memory. I told you, suppose this is the memory block. This is a separate object, separate software object, separate memory block. So memory to y object is allocated, same way total size will be 8 bytes. So 8 bytes memory will be allocated to each and every object. So same way x, y, z and so on. Any numbers of objects you can create. That's why class name is called user defined data type or object factory. That's why class is called object factory. So we can create any number of objects, but main thing is for software object, it is having 3 properties: state, behavior and identity. State means size occupied by an object. There is 8 bytes of size occupied by an object. And another thing is identity. Identity, how can you identify this object? The memory address, each and every cell in the memory block is having one unique address. So address of first cell is called the identity of the object. Here identity of y object is different. Okay, for each object there will be separate identity, means separate cell address. So one thing is state, another is identity, and next thing is behavior. Behavior of the objects depends on the functions defined in the body of the class. We have defined 2 functions, void data, void display. So this object is having 2 functions. One is data, another is display. Same way, these 2 functions are also attached with the second object, data and display. If you make one more function here, then one more function will be added, one more behavior will be added with each object. So now how can we access this function? Now with the help of x object, if I call the function x dot display, close the function and then class. So when I call display function, what it will print? It will print the default value of a and b, which will be 0. It will not print 5 and 6 because we have not called the data function first of all. First of all, we have just called here display function. So it will print here 0 and 0, both the values of a and b. Now same ways, if before display function, if I call the function data, x dot data will be executed first and a and b will be initialized for x object with the values 5 and 6. Now you call the display function with the help of x object. Now what is the value of a and b for x object? That is now 5 and 6. So this time it will print 5 and 6. Now if I call y dot display y object, with the help of y object I am calling the display function. Again it will print 0 and 0, which is the default values for y object. So it will print 0 0. So before display you have to call y dot data, then a and b will be initialized with 5 and 6 also for y object. If you call here y dot data function, so the order of the calling of the function decided by the user, which function has to be called first. So this is about the object. We will discuss some more programs related to the same concept.